welcome to another Crochet Infusion. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to work the houndstooth stitch using the invisible slip stitch when you're working in the rounds, and how to keep your yarns where they need to be for your invisible slip stitch, and of course, as I said, working in the rounds as well. So for the slip stitch, invisible slip stitch join, this is a really useful joining if you don't like to have the joining on show, and this is virtually impossible to see. So it's a very nice join to use, especially with garments as well as amigurumis and things like that. So the principles for the houndstooth is very much the same for any stitch really, except for you might not be changing colours. You could be using one colour only, or if you are changing colours, then obviously you would change colours and use the same principle for the slip stitching for the joining. So for me, my last stitch is going to be a double crochet, which is going to be placed right here. So I'm going to insert my hook into this loop with yarn A. As you can see, I've got yarn A to the front and I've got yarn B to the back of my work, and that is quite consistent throughout when working in the rounds with the houndstooth stitch. So to begin, as I said, I need to finish my last stitch, so I'm going to yarn over my hook, insert my hook into that space and make a double crochet. So I'll pull the yarn through, got 3 loops on the hook, pick up my yarn and pull through the first 2 loops, and then I'm going to drop my yarn A and just hold that to the front while I pick up yarn B from the back. So once I've got my yarn B, I can now complete my last double crochet by yarning over the hook and pull through those last 2 loops that's on my hook. So now I am ready to go and start the next round in my new colour. So what I want to do here is, what I like to do, I just drop the yarn B for a certain moment and pull on yarn A. Just make everything nice and snug before moving on. So lift up a loop and remove your hook from that loop. So now you want to find your first stitch. For me is right here. So find your first stitch and turn your work, because now we're going to be working on the inside facing. So now we want to use this loop. Just make sure yarn A is just to the side here. So this loop, I want to insert that over my hook. And you want to keep things nice and tight, so just pull on the yarn B as well as you're going to pull this through the stitch where you inserted your hook. So you want to pull that through. It can be a bit tricky sometimes and you don't want to drop, so just turn your hook slightly as you pull that through, and then it comes through nicely. So as I said, just pull slightly on the yarn so everything's nice and tight. So now you want to do a chain 1. Because we've already done our turn, we don't need to turn again, so we're ready to move on to the next round. So for me, it would be a single crochet into the first stitch, and then I would then work into the next stitch of a double crochet as you do a houndstooth stitch. When you get round to your last stitch, you will repeat the same principle, except for you will turn your work going back this way facing, so this would be outside facing, and making sure that your yarns are positioned in the correct places, ready for picking up your next colour. So obviously once I get round this round, this yarn B will be to the back and yarn A back to the front. And that's all you need to do when you're working in the rounds using invisible join on for this stitch and for any stitch, because when you do the invisible slip stitch, as I said, it's the same principle. Very nice joining that you get results for this. This is actually for a project that I'm working on for some mittens, so the pattern will be out very soon, and when it does I will put it in the description box if you want to get this pattern for these mittens. So that is it for today's tutorial. Please give me a like or subscribe if you enjoyed this tutorial and want to see more of these kind of tutorials. Thank you so much. Bye.